Auburn, a 6th-ranked team in the country, went down at home to LSU. But first things first here, Auburn, not flashy by any stretch of the imagination, but go on the road and just kind of grind away a win. What do you take away from it?
I take away, first of all, the defense was excellent today. We heard Tom talk about it earlier there. I believe 5 sacks by that Auburn defense. Did a great job of limiting big plays, kept everything in front of them for the most part. And at the end of the day, they finally made enough plays on offense. They got it to their stars. Bigsby stepped up big time as he typically has in the past. Seth Williams, a couple big catches, including a touchdown drive there late. So those were the things that I took away. But it wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing win, but you'll take it.
You will take it. You're happy. It was a win on the road. That was very important to build confidence, especially for Bo Nix, that he has not been great on the road. And he also made a great run to show off his athleticism.
Down around the goal.
Get him a touchdown at the end as well. So I just love that Tank Bigsby is healthy. I love watching this guy run. I love watching him break tackles. He doesn't seem like the biggest guy, but all he does is produce.
He's a freshman, by the way, too.
He's going to get bigger. Can't wait to see him in the weight room. He's been the most exciting freshman running back I've seen on Auburn's campus since Carnell Cadillac Williams. That was my year.
I mean, the other side, like defensively, they played well, right? I mean, there's multiple sides to this game of football. And look, they held Mississippi State to 1.2 yards a carry. They held them to under 4.5 yards per pass attempt. This was a Mississippi State offense that had started to generate some positive production over the last couple of games, but Auburn essentially stopped it at their place.
I think they did a good job of mixing in zone with their man coverage principles. You look at another team who earlier this year, Mississippi State kind of found their rhythm against Georgia, who's known as a man-to-man team, but tried to implement zone in just a week of practice. Auburn had to do the same thing. They did a great job of being able to mix it up, playing man-to-man on the outside, still keeping some zone principles on the inside of their coverage things. I thought it was a really great job of Auburn having a great defensive plan and executing it.
Much more on this Auburn win coming up on SEC Football Final, but the biggest story really today in all of college football is what happened at the Swamp, where LSU walked in and really had a defensive stand early, countered with points, and held off Florida 37-34, a 57-yard field goal by Cade York to put him ahead, and then Evan McPherson missed from 51. Happening now, Dan Mullen, after his team's loss.
So I want to thank everybody, our fans. It was a great, very different season here in the Swamp. I thank all our fans for everything that they did this year and showing out and supporting this team, trying to create as much of an environment as we were allowed to create today. The energy that they created, and thought they did a good job. I want to know, as we saw earlier today, our thoughts and prayers are with Keontae and his family and everything that he's going through.
On the ground here, right around midfield, this kind of moments. Here we are, right? A heated battle, 7.5 minutes to go. It's a 6-point game. State's got all this momentum, and then you see your teammate, or if you're an opponent, you see somebody else in an injury and you don't know how serious. What are you going through?
All the emotions that's been going on, especially this game, it's been very chippy. Everybody's going back and forth. The moment you see a serious injury, everybody really calms down. You really take a sober moment and just kind of take a step back, and you really get your own emotions and think about it, because that could be your friend, that could be your teammate, and all the emotions go out, and all you want to do is make sure that player is healthy.
Yeah, definitely concern for that player. It also reminds you the type of violent sport that we play as well, that it could be you as well. And so, I think that's one of the things that's always most difficult when you see a serious injury like that, and maybe takes away a little bit of the importance of the actual game, and you realize it's at the end of the day just guys competing and getting a chance to play a game.
So I'm looking over my right shoulder here, and they are bringing a stretcher out, as you would expect when you see something like that, when you see an injury and somebody on the ground this length of time here. As we wait to send it back to Starkville, let's talk about the game. This looked like one Auburn was going to kind of run away in. Mississippi State put a really nice drive together. We hadn't seen that all game until then.
Yeah, I think the things that I've seen here late is when the games got competitive, it's been Auburn's big players that have stepped up. Seth Williams with a couple big catches, including a touchdown. Tank Bigsby's ripping off a couple big runs. So finally, a little bit of assertion by those guys that you would think would take over a game like this.
Yeah, and then you see what happens. They get up, and then all of a sudden, Mississippi State responds back with another touchdown when they struggled all game long to kind of figure it out.
Kickoff return.
LSU just hit a 57, I believe, yard field goal to take a 37-34 lead at Florida with 23 seconds to go. 6th-ranked Florida. The implications for the playoff, not implications for the SEC championship game, but the playoff. Now you wonder what happens if they lose this game and they still beat Alabama. Does a 2-loss Florida get it? It just got more interesting on a national level if this holds, but may not hold. We know what Florida's offense is certainly capable.
Well, first of all, give a lot of credit to LSU. This was not a game that many people gave them even a chance to be in position to be competitive, let alone have the lead with less than 30 seconds to go here. I think Max Johnson's done a tremendous job offensively. You talked about